try not to think of like image all the time, you know, like not think about how you look or how you come off all the time. That's exhausting. And there's more to you than that as a person. There's more than just like what people see when they see you. And so I admit though that I've struggled with it. Like it's one of the reasons I'm not wearing glasses. I need glasses. I need glasses. I need glasses bad. Y'all lucky I don't drive. I need glasses. I have walked up to animals. Sure, they were different animals. Nah, I need glasses bad. But it's just, here's the thing. If I wear glasses, I run the risk. There's now, your chances go up by 100% if you wear glasses of getting your glasses knocked off. Now, if I get my glasses knocked off, I have to find my glasses. If I ever get my glasses knocked off and have to hit the deck to find my glasses, pack me up right there. If my glasses get knocked off and now I can't see at all and I gotta get on the ground and hit the full Velma. And now I'm over here patting for my glasses. And every time you feel for your glasses and you don't touch glasses, it makes you look more blind. So now, my hand might be right next to my glass, and I don't know what it is in us as people. We will stand there and let somebody fight to find their glasses. I did it too. I didn't even realize I was doing it. One time, we were all playing around. We were playing dodgeball in gym class, and my buddy got hit with the dodgeball, and he barely dodged it, but it hit the top of his head, knocked his glasses off, and he needed his glasses bad. And so he immediately dropped it. And he said it, because I guess whenever they fly off, you say it. I don't know why it comes right out of your mouth. If you get your glasses knocked off, you say, my glasses. We all know what just happened. We all saw it. You didn't see it, but we saw it. And now you over here screaming, my glasses! And then he hit the ground and was looking for his glasses and full on. I thought, okay, Scooby-Doo's a cartoon. They're exaggerating for comedic effect, whatever. He was fully missing his glasses. Wouldn't even slide his hand, was just tapping the wrong place around the glasses nonstop. I didn't mean to watch him to be mean. I wasn't even thinking. I was just like, he bound to touch it eventually. His hand is... And then everybody else started screaming out instructions. They were like, no, little to the left, little to the... And we weren't bullying him. No one was like we were trying to help. And it didn't occur to me until he grabbed him that I was like, oh, I was right there. I could have picked him up for... And ever since then, I've just been thinking about that because there's something about, okay, I don't know what this is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the instance that I saw. But there is something about bending over to find your glasses that makes you hinge your hips in a way that is unflattering. Maybe it's the panic. Maybe it's like, you know what I mean? It's like the urgency might be what does it. But when he bent down to pick up his glasses, he didn't just bend up on all fours like you would think. He really it was up in the air in a way where I was like, is that part of it? From that day to present, I remember being in the eye doctor's office. And they had the test for me, and it was all the letters. And I knew I needed glasses as soon as, okay. They have a lot of layers to it, a lot of levels, right? First one, that E, easy. Must be why it's an E. Next two down to like F, L, Q, whatever. I was like, all right, fine. Third layer down. I was like, okay, all right, trying to get tricky. The layer right under that, I was like, and they were standing right next to me. Don't strain eyes. I was like, I'm not straining. I'm not straining. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. They were like, well, what do you say? Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. B, P. That's a car. That looked like a car. Are you sure these are all letters? Because that looked exactly like a Nissan. Okay. Car. 2. E. A. 12. And then they were like, what about the layer underneath? And I was like, you don't seriously think... If they're starting to look like vehicles, I think we've got our answer. And then they were like, ooh, you need glasses. And I was like, there's no like exercises I can do. There's no like sit-ups for my eyes or something that I can. And they were like, no, you need glasses. And I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. And then they gave me what should be my prescription because they did the better, worse thing. That shouldn't be up to you. That's a crazy thing that we do. That's insane. That's insane. Imagine if the surgeon was like, do you think I should poke here first? I'm like, I told you the general area that it hurt. I have no idea. I don't know surgery. And even though these are my eyes, I don't know. At a certain point when they were like better, worse, I was like, that one had to be the same. The thing that you just did just now. And then that's why I was like, okay, is some of this like a placebo? Like, are they trying to trick me or something? And then they would go like better, worse, better. And then I confused them because I started saying stuff was better that I had said was worse already. But then I was like, but why are you trying to test me? It went from feeling like an eye test to feeling like the type of test your girl gives you when she knows you did something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, no, is it better or is it worse? Is it... No, you tell me. You tell me what you think. No, I can't answer for you. I can't do that. And so now I'm like, better, worse. Then there was a moment where I was like, in my head, I did not say this out loud, but they had done the thing so many times that I was like, maybe I can't see. Maybe I've been going off of instinct this whole time. Maybe my sense of smell is so good that I've been just daredeviling it without the martial arts. And so then finally they're like, okay, we think we've got it. And I was like, all right, never tell me that. You're a professional and I don't know anything. You don't have to tell me you think. I'll take what you say as, the truth. And then they ordered my glasses. Glasses came in, and it was almost too much seeing. Like it would be like, okay, so a good example is like, I've had friends whose grandparents got hearing aids for the first time, and they went from like such a low grade of hearing to like a hyper awareness of everything, which was really just getting them back to baseline. But they had their senses dulled for so long that it was almost too much. It was like a flood at one time. And when I tell you, putting on those glasses would have been like if I needed a hearing aid and I got a hearing aid and then I couldn't just hear, I could hear thoughts. Like that, like the way I was seeing, I was seeing the veins and leaves. I was looking at leaves like, I didn't know you had blood. No, this is incredible. It was incredible, truly. I put them on, and I even said to the optometrist, I was like, this is almost too much. Are you sure this prescription isn't too hard? Like, I should have said strong, but I didn't know the term. And they were like, no, you'll get used to it, and you may experience like a slight, headache as you adjust. You start wearing them more often and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I'm walking out with glasses on for the first time. I'm not even considering like how I look with glasses versus without glasses. I'm not even really thinking about that. I walk out the optometrist's office and immediately, almost, not quite, get clipped by somebody on a bike. I was like, you know what? That's enough seeing for today. Let me go ahead, pack these up. And so I have them, but I just only when I'm like going to an event, like if I'm going to an event and I have, seats pretty far back, I will wear the glasses so I can see regular, but it's a lot of seeing. There's a certain truth that comes with seeing that you were able to ignore for a long time. You know what I mean? For instance, I wore my glasses in my home, right? Went ahead and put them back on because I was like, at least if I gotta look for them here, it's me, but I got all day to find them if they get knocked off my head, right? And I knew that I needed to clean up a bit. But looking at my apartment with glasses, I was like, oh, no! There's too much to do. I think I have to move. Even being online now as like a young kid, I can't imagine it. Like I talk about it a lot, but I just was very, very lucky to get the type of internet I got. I think, here's my thing. I think I look at the way that I came across the internet like the way a kid should get their first car. Like your first car actually shouldn't be nice. Like it shouldn't be amazing. It's your first car. You'll get another one. It's your first car. And you're 16 or whatever, and that's if you're able to get a car at that age. Like, if your parents have money for a car, I think it should be something that's like something maybe you don't want to drift in. You know what I mean? Do you know, like, my buddy, when he was 16, his parents got him a car, but they were nervous because he was a good person, but he was a wild kid. And so they were scared to get him like a Mustang or just anything that had like real juice to it, So they got him a minivan. And at first he was all upset. He was like, come on. Supposed to drive up to school with this thing? And they were like, you can tell him it's ours. Like, you don't have to show it off to anybody. And plus, you wanted a vehicle. You wanted to be able to get from point A to point B. Now you can bring more friends. And I don't know. I think that's a good idea because just knowing him, I think if you had got him a Mustang, he wouldn't be alive right now. You know what I mean? Like, he would have accidentally driven into something, just speeding or whatever. And that's how I look at the internet a little bit, where it's like I got a very beat up version of the internet that was just starting out. Like it was young, but the tech was old immediately. Like there was one time I had a computer, I had a desktop that had eaten a floppy disk. And so that was just a function you were never going to be able to use. Like, yeah, it was just, oh yeah, no, you can't print from this one. This isn't the type of computer that talks to printers. And so I look at the internet now and I look at it as that sort of like Mustang. And kids are getting online and it's like, you're 12. You're a baby. And this thing has so many opinions. And a lot of it's bad. Like, I would even say most of it is bad. You know, there's some SpongeBob, but outside of that, it's not great out there. You know, and there's so many different things that are trying to tell, especially like young boys with being a man. It's like, I remember when I was a kid, I thought you wouldn't be a man until this thing and this thing. And there's so many like rites of passage things that some of them are just with the people that you grow up around. But then other things are like almost universal. Like for instance, this is just a thing. I don't expect anyone else to know or believe this thing. This is just a thing when I was growing up. This is just me, okay? This is not for anybody else. We all live different lives. This is just me. I was told that you weren't a man yet until you catch your first fish. Right? Because it has a lot of like life lessons in it. You have to learn some patience. You have to like be present in what you're doing. It's a bit of a battle to get the thing. It's not just going to come to you. Even if you wait all day, you might not catch anything. It's just like a lot of good lessons in fishing. And so then I went fishing, right? I was fishing and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to become a man because I'm fishing, and this is what men do. They kill. They kill to provide for the people that they love, and that's what I would do with this fish. I would catch this fish, and then it'd be something for my family to eat. I'd be able to actually bring my mom something she could eat. My mom always feeds me. I'm like 12, 13 at the time. I'm like, my mom always feeds me. I could actually have something to like have. I mean, she would still need to cook it. I would need her to. I would need her to, if it was going to be good. Like I could cook it, but it would just be hot. It wouldn't be cooked. It'd be hot fish. It'd probably still have the scales on it, and it'd probably still have everything. Like I hadn't even thought about cutting it open or doing any of the stuff. I also didn't know at the time that you had to do anything. Whenever I ordered fish, I thought they had caught the fish and got it real hot and then chopped it up and then sent it to you. I would have passed out had I known. Anyway, I was there to fish, to be a man, right? I'm going to become a man. I'm going to fish. And they had the hook. And I was like, okay, so far, so good. I've seen this in cartoons. You go ahead, put that hook on the line and everything, cast that out. And they were like, well, you need some bait. I was like, what? And they were like, you need some bait. And I was like, oh, okay. So what do we do? And the person who was teaching me to fish already had the bait. They had a worm, right? And they pulled the worm out. And I was like, What does that have to do with anything? I feel like you mixing activities right now. Like that's very weird that you would bring worms to fish. And then he was like, no, the fish is gonna go for the worm. Like the fish is gonna, the worm is the bait that the fish will. That's what we'll use to catch it. He was like blown away that I didn't understand this concept. He was like, he had to describe it so many times he started saying it wrong. He was like, yeah, because the worm wants fish. The fish will want the hook if the worm has it. And so then this dude is trying to explain to me, and I was like, I don't know. I know it's insane, but when you're young, you don't always assume you don't know. You just take logic as it stands in your mind. And so when he was like, we're going to put the worm on the hook so that when we throw it out, the fish will, I was like, I don't think that's going to work. I'm just, look, no, this is my opinion. I don't think this is going to work because the worm, where'd you get the worm from? And he was like, oh, I got it from my property. Like I dug up some earthworms and everything. I was like, oh, okay. So not the water, like not the, no, I'm just saying like the fish will probably see the worm and be like, you drowning, dog? We have never met before. I don't think the fish is gonna be like, ooh, delicious. Oh, I've been waiting my entire life. No, I think the fish is gonna be like, what is Like I think if anything, the fish is gonna think what I think, which is why is this here? And as any good mentor does, he was incredibly patient. He was like, look, just trust me, it's gonna work. This is how you do it. And I was like, okay, all right, I've never been fishing. You fish. Let's do it your way. And so he put the fish on his hook, and I did not have the stomach for that. I even as he was doing it, I was like, oh, it kind of seemed like you hurting him. So what happens once we catch the fish? Like, does he go back in your little box? And he's like, no, it's not how this works at all. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, this is a sadder activity than I thought it would be. And then it was time to put my fish on the hook. And I was like, all right, okay. Oh, yeah, the worm. And I grabbed the worm, and I was like, the whole time I was like, ew, 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 oh, ew. And then he, taught me how to cast it. I went to cast it. Probably did it more times than I needed to, because I kind of liked casting. I was like, like, what I was doing didn't even make sense. I was like, I didn't like how it fell. It didn't fall right, so let me go ahead and... Finally cast out. He's like, you gotta stop. There's no way the fish still wants. You're scaring him. And I was like, okay, all right. So what do we do now? We cast out and everything. It's like, well, we wait. This requires patience. I was like, oh, okay. Hey, you sure about the worm thing? Like, you feel completely confident that this is gonna work? He's like, yes, it works. Okay. It took a while. I don't even remember how long. It took too long. It took a ridiculous amount of time. It was deeply frustrating. It was. And then finally, I felt some movement. The lines. And he's like, grab it. Grabbed it. And he was like, reel it in. I was like, oh. Because then I started to reel it in, and he was like, no, give it a little slack, let it think it's getting away. And I was like, oh, okay, but it's not getting away. He's like, no, but if you just pull, it might break loose. Give it a little slack, pull it back. I was like, oh. And then I'm so close, and you can tell he wants to come grab it with me and help me, but he's like letting me do it myself. And so he was like, lean back, and I was like, I am. And finally I pull it out of the water, and it's big, and it's not big in the way that people lie about. It's like too big for me at 13. You know what I mean? So I don't because I was smaller then, I actually have no idea how big this fish was. Like, in my mind, he was half my body, but I'm sure it was like what you could order at a Long John Silver. Like, I'm positive. But I pull the fish out, and the fish is fighting, which I had not prepared for. I thought I was positive that when you fished, and maybe it's just because I had watched movies and, you see people put stuff in the cooler and then head home. I thought when you caught a fish, after you caught it, once you pulled it out of the water, it was like, you right. Nah, I'ma chill. I don't even know what to do up here. I'm gonna stop. That did not happen at all. This fish was still fighting hard. And now that it was reeled in, I didn't know what to do. And so it's embarrassing, but I pulled it in and it's wiggling. It's wiggling so hard in front of me. And I just started screaming. I was not prepared for how alive this thing would still be. And so it is wiggling all around. But now the fishing pole is almost like, you remember when you would play like tetherball when you were in middle school? It's like the thing is just flying around me as I scream because I'm like, And I hear him, and I know he's still next to me, but he sounds 1,000 miles away. And he's like, grab it, son, grab it. And I don't know why I closed my eyes, but I was, And finally, I grab it, and it fully wiggles out of my hand, right? And so then, I don't know why I did this. I grabbed it again, and it just felt so uncomfortable that it was still wiggling so hard that I threw the fish and the fishing rod. Now, I did throw it on land. I don't want you to think I just threw it back in the water and lost two things. No. I did throw it on the ground far away from me just so I had time to gather myself. And I still saw this fish bouncing off it's like full of life. And he's like, you have to grab it, this is part of fishing. And I was like, no one talked about this part of fishing at all. They said it was peaceful. And I didn't know how to stop a fish that was, still so, still so alive. And so he kept telling me to grab it, but I was like, I've grabbed it. That doesn't deter it at all. It still very much wants to keep moving, and I don't know what to do. And so okay. I run up and he's like, grab it. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to grab it. He was going to take the hook out. He was going to put it in the cooler, right? And it would just be ready to take home. I didn't know any of that because we hadn't discussed any of it, because maybe he also didn't think I'd catch a fish today. And so in my mind, I'm on my own. I know I have a mentor there. I know I have somebody who fishes, who knows what they're doing, that I don't even believe for some reason. But I just ran up, and I don't even know where it came from, but I ran up, I grabbed it, and I punched the fish as hard as I could. Because I thought I needed to knock it out. Because it's flopping and everything, and I've grabbed it already. I've grabbed it several times. But grab it isn't stopping it. So I run up, I grab the fish. And it stopped moving. And I threw up immediately. I threw up and I was sitting there. And I was like, I killed him. But at least I was a man, now I had my manhood. manhood looked a lot like tears and a little bit of vomit. Oh. No. Because you see it happen, especially online right now. You got all these young men online that are taking so much instruction, taking it as absolute truth what people that are barely older than them have to say about life, and things that aren't helping them, things that are like really toxic. Like you see like these young boys now are getting swept up in this thing called Looksmaxxing, right? And Looksmaxxing, you almost don't need to know any of the terms because everyone keeps coming up for, we do this every generation. Everybody comes up for terms for stuff that like already exists. Does already just exist. So then there's terms like, what tier you are, especially like in the sort of marketplace of attractiveness. And the thing that's really tough about it is that to even try not to engage with it, it still makes you think about it. Everyone thinks about their appearance to a degree. And then you see some of the people who are known in this world. And they're authorities to these young boys because just like any manosphere type, they seem to have everything that the young boys want and they're telling them how to get it, And so sometimes you can't even get through to a person. It's not until I became a little bit more understanding of myself and I got a little bit older that I realized how frustrating it is to like have somebody right next to you that you want to get an idea across to, but they're willing to listen to someone that they're never going to meet online versus you who's right in front of them, who's giving them good advice, And on its face, it just holds so little value. It's this idea that everything really does just come down to your looks, how you'll be treated, if you'll find a partner, all this stuff. If you'll be able to get certain jobs, if you'll be able to be loved at all. And not only is that thing not true because of all the reasons that you say when a kid is little and you're trying to instill good confidence into him, it's not true because if you look around, that's just not what's happening. Like, as much as we shouldn't judge on looks, as much as we shouldn't put everything, all of our energy and all of our focus into just what we project outside, we still have an awareness of how people look. That's just human. And that's the tough part about when you're dealing with some of these people, because they'll say a thing that has a nugget of truth, and then that nugget of truth is what a bad actor uses to then say, well, I guess people just shouldn't work on themselves at all. And that's not what I'm saying in the least. I'm just saying that, like, I've watched two women fight over a man who was ugly. That happens. That happens all the time. It's actually crazy how much it happens. I remember I was in college. These two young ladies were going at it. And when I say going, I mean like they were fighting. The only thing they were missing was a cage behind them. Like they were going at it, pulling each other's hair, screaming. And when you're young like that, you're a little bit more transparent. You don't even realize you're being transparent in what you're seeking or how you feel, and you just say stuff that's like the exact emotion. And so one of them pulling each other's hair and thing goes, "He's mine." She said, "He's mine." She said, "He's mine." And I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to try to break the two of them up. I know better than that because they were hitting hard. But I heard her say, "He's mine." And I couldn't help it. I just, I was like, he's ugly. Like, why are y'all doing this? He clearly cheats. Like that. He cheats and he's ugly. This doesn't seem like somebody to go to fist for. And he was there. He was there. He was there. And like, look. I said it because I was just focused on trying to break the two of them up. I wasn't just unnecessarily throwing shots. I didn't even realize he was there until I heard, hey. But look, this is one thing that I will say about looks as well, is that it almost doesn't matter what you look like until later, if that makes sense. There's a world where he is dating one of them and they like him and he likes them and they have a great relationship. And it doesn't even occur to me what he looks like not really. But based on what I'm seeing, which is of his character, these two girls are fighting. They're fighting because they both think they have him, because he cheats. And so then him being a cheater and me noticing that this person cheats and hearing about it and then seeing them fight now because this drama that was like unfolding right in front of us, I just noticed because I have eyes. It's like, I don't know if he's the one to hit over. And so I think some of these things, they become a part of it later. I don't know if I'm making perfect sense with that, but it's not as if I thought to myself, I can't believe anyone would date him. I just couldn't believe two women were fighting over it. So clearly, this Looksmaxxing of the sexual marketplace and the sort of physical economy that we have over other people, it clearly doesn't actually play out that way in the real world. According to all these Looksmaxxers, he shouldn't have been able to even speak to anyone. Do you know what I mean? That's their gospel. And they act like they know how the world works. And meanwhile, all these people who are out here doing these things, when I say doing these things, I should be clear. I'm talking about people who are, doing like bone smashing on their cheeks to try to get more contoured cheeks. I'm talking about people that are giving themselves disorders, have unhealthy relationships with eating. All of these young boys are in this position where they're constantly thinking about how they come off, how they look. And meanwhile, so many women like ugly guys. What do you do? I don't know. No, I've just watched it. And I don't mean, here's the thing. I don't mean ugly as in ugly to me. I mean ugly as in as soon as they break up with this person and they start describing their face, it's not the face of someone. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no, I saw him, but I guess I didn't notice all the problems. And look, this is the other thing too. We can't discount how filters make us feel, how social makes us feel, and that goes for all of us, and how much we see ourselves more than our grandparents saw themselves, especially more than our great-grandparents saw themselves. Mirrors had been invented. Mirrors had been invented, but you didn't really see yourself 24/7 like you're capable of now. Our great-grandparents didn't have a phone to try to take a picture of their friend that they lifted up, that the phone then betrayed them and was on selfie mode, way too close to their face. So close to their face. No one should have to see their face that close. That's not how we were made. Even when you look in the mirror, you don't go nose to nose with the mirror. No one should see us that close. I feel like that thing, when you're this close, this is crazy. I once opened my phone, went to take a picture of my friend, and scared myself. Because I wasn't expecting to see me. I had already imagined what the picture would look like. So when I saw me, I was like, oh, geez. And then I realized that this close, That's crazy. This is what my girlfriend sees. That's insane. No one should see you this close. I feel like this and how we look when we're this close to our face is probably why we close our eyes when we kiss. I'm like almost positive that like, no, I think if you went to kiss, open eyes. I think it here, making that type of eye contact, one of two things happens. You decide not to kiss, or one of you explodes. There's no way that anything else happens. Ooh. I hope I never meet two people that kiss eyes open. That's a level of intimacy I may never reach. That is terrifying. And so you see how the widespread, once again, sort of gospel, because it's this thing that these young men end up living by, and how it affects them. And some of it is like wrapped up in things that people were going to do anyway. You're a young man, and maybe you like sports, or you just like getting out there and being active. You're already probably going to start working out anyway, in a way. But now even working out is wrapped up into this thing. You know, there's like softmaxxing, which is all the healthy things that like a person can do to not just improve their appearance, but improve their health. And then there's like the hard maxing stuff, like the double jaw surgery that these 70-year-old boys think that they need and everything. And it's fascinating to watch people freak out so much about it, not just because they should. This is an intense thing that is kicking off in a short amount of time, but it's especially jarring because this is like what it's been like the whole time for women. Do you know what I mean? Truly, I'm not saying that so that you clap. I'm saying that because that is a realization that I think a lot of people didn't come to until they saw their like 70-year-old boy freaking out about his face. Like, it sucks that we could have just been better to women. And then, well, it's like we could have just been better to women, but now the internet and society at large, like, no, we could just give boys eating disorders too. Like, that's crazy. Cause that is not how you make a better world overall. If something is terrible for someone, it doesn't become more equitable by it being terrible for someone else. You have to just make it better for the person who's being harmed, you know? Like, this can't be how we do it. It can't. That would be like instead of reparations. that would be crazy. Imagine. That'd be a terrible world. That'd be a very bad world to live in. Imagine just Roots playing out in reverse. Some of the lines are still the same. It's like, what's your name? Toby. Like that, that would be wild. That would be crazy. But it wouldn't be better. That's not how you make life better. Yeah, I don't know, because some of it feels like it should be ridiculous on its face. Like, there's this whole short fishing thing that some of these guys do, because in the mindset of a lot of these people, it's like 6 foot or nothing. If you're not a 6 foot man, you have lower value to women, you have lower value in the world. And that's just, not only is that not true in any practical sense, it's like, even if women say their preference is like 6 foot whatever, look at their husband. Do you know what I mean? Like, most people end up dating and marry people that are like about their height. Like, there are some people, yeah, I guess it was a whole deal breaker for them. But whenever I meet people and I meet couples, I don't meet a 4'2" woman who has to be picked up by her 6'5" husband. I'm not saying it never happens. I'm just saying that's not the norm that people are pushing out. And I don't know, you see these guys, there was this one dude, he was streaming and he was explaining how he gets around it. So he already wears lifts in his shoes so he can seem 6 foot, which is, I guess if you want to be stylish, I don't know. Like, but you're really trying to act like you're a different height than you are but what if you finally find a person? Because all these things are to find a person. All these things are so that someone likes you and they want to be with you and that they love you. And if that happens, you're going to get to know someone intimately. And intimately, all of us are gross. The whole point of someone loving you is to look past how, like, deep, unsettling, weird, offbeat you are. Like, the most put together people. Okay, all right. When I tell you that some of the most gorgeous people that I have ever met, if you actually like spend some time with them and go to their house, or with slobs, they're so busy looking good, they don't pick up anything. You walk into their apartment, just stepping on stuff. Men and women, by the way. You're just stepping on stuff. You finally step on something, it sticks. Yeah. Someone's gonna get to know them intimately. Someone's gonna be like, Barbara, just pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, that's what love is. Like if you are seeking love, it is past all of this like stuff. If you're trying to hook up with people, fine. Yes, you're going to have to finagle your way in to look like this person that maybe they want to be with for one night, whatever. But if you're really trying to get companionship, none of this stuff matters. And so the idea that you could be so obsessed with your height it blows my mind, you know? And that's not just because I'm not tall. That makes me sound like, you know? Because sometimes you get to talking like this and then people are like, yeah, from down there. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's easy to find love when you're close to the ground where all the people are. You know? No, truly, it blew my mind. You're wearing lifts so that you can seem 6 foot, as if women walk around with a ruler. As if they're like, I got a yardstick, we'll see. You know, and don't get me wrong, I understand that for some women, especially younger women, they make a huge deal out of maybe height or like, you know, look, whatever. And that's if you want to be with that person. But if you're trying to be with a person, that stuff melts away so quickly. The time you get to spend with someone, whether you go on a date or you've been with someone for years, like all of the quality time you spend with a person has so little to do with any of that stuff. All these things are just like little tricks. And after a while, it's just you. So when it's just you, are you worth being around? That's like, I think maybe the scariest question. And so you do everything that you can when you're in this sort of mindset to dress up as much as possible so it doesn't even matter. Like maybe I'm a horrible person deep down, but I look good. I project all of the right types of confidence. People want to be around me. So then I've put up enough facade that I should be fine. And that's just not the way the world works. You know, it's not at all like every external factor is just a factor. It's not the whole of a person. And you know that because billionaires are divorced. You would think billions would be enough. Billions would be enough to wait it out, you know what I mean? On the till death do us part, but nah, even with money, If you don't want to be around a person, if you don't like what's in the inside and what you see, you get away. You know? And so you see these guys lifts in the shoes. I couldn't get over it. You're like 5'10". You're already taller. But then you're wearing the lift so you could be 6 feet. And then someone asked him on the stream, what do you do? What do you do when, let's say there's a young lady comes home with you and it's time to take the shoes off. You can't live in the shoes forever. What are you gonna do? And he was like, I have a plan for that. And I was like, unless your plan is to somehow make her shorter, I don't know how you have a plan for this. Like, unless your plan is chop her feet off, no, she's gonna realize you're not 6 foot. Especially if you're ever out in public and you forget your lifts. Maybe you decided to be comfortable that day, and then you walk up to a man who's actually 6 feet, and it's like, oh, there's a difference. You slouching? You lose a vertebrae? And he was like, I have a plan for that. And so what he does, or at least what he says he does, is he takes his shoes off strategically. So, you brought a beautiful young woman home. You're in your apartment. She comes in. You're like, please, have a seat. She sits on the couch. Already, she's at a disadvantage. So now she's sitting down. This is a perfect opportunity. You get behind your kitchen countertop, your island, whatever you got. And across the entire apartment, he had laid out boxes. He got boxes everywhere. He got random boxes. And he'll kick his shoes off and step on the box real quick. Measured it out perfectly. On the box, he's 6 feet tall. And he's like, yeah, but what if she likes you and she wants to move things somewhere else? What do you do? Eventually, you got to walk away from the box. Like, yes, and then you strategically get to the next box. Imagine her being like, why don't we go back to your room? And you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds fantastic. What was that? She's like, are you coming to the room? Yeah, I'll be there in just a second. I think you dropped something. No, it's insane. It's insane. And I think sometimes the internet, whether it is filters or whether it is the sort of propaganda, it can warp your idea to what life is. Like you see these people who are genuinely taught over time to hate themselves, hate how they look, to not think they're ever gonna find anyone. And that is the perfect opportunity to sell them something. Because that's what it is. I can sell you what you're missing, and you happen to be missing exactly what I'm selling. And when you're young and impressionable, you don't really understand the grift. You don't really get it. Because right now, the top people in Looksmaxxing are all young. They're all at like their physical prime. I wonder how many fans they'll have in 30 years. Do you know what I mean? Or do they get booted by the community that they started? Because there's nothing built around it that's real community. It's everybody just vying to look better than everyone else. but based off of like metrics that are made up in real time. And half of it is like eugenics repackaged. You know, a lot of this stuff is scary, not just in what it does to people, but how it makes people feel about themselves. No, and look, I understand. You know, I've been in a version of where those young guys are, and so I understand that it can be incredibly enticing. That do this thing, either change yourself in this way or do this action, and it will work. And it not only is it not true, but like you haven't lived enough life to know it's not going to be true. And so then you do these things either to yourself or in pursuit of someone, and you end up disappointed. And then the worst trick that all these things play on people is that when it doesn't work out, it's somehow still your fault. It's not something that they did. They're not lying. They're not full of it. It's like something that you did, and you didn't do it right, and you didn't do it like I said, and whatever. And I don't know. I've just watched, like, being in relationships now, being with people. It's like I've seen how little looks end up mattering over time, especially. You know, like, obviously, attraction is at varying levels of importance to people, and it is what, like, that first impression is. It's like, I didn't know you could read from across the room. Like this. You see someone and you like how they look, and you approach them, or you meet someone and there's like a spark there. Like, chemistry is real, you know? But like a lasting relationship, it's like, if you really want your woman to be happy, you don't need the perfect cheek or bone structure. You just need to, like, hype her up when she's complaining about her day. You know what I mean? She comes home in a bad mood and she's telling you a story about somebody who did her wrong. You know what you got to do? Every man in here, this is important. You know what you have to do? You have to bring up another time this woman did her wrong. If you're trying to win at life, all you gotta do, listen to the whole story, whatever she did at work, and then just be like, yeah, and she forgot your birthday. I wasn't even gonna bring it up again because you know what I mean? Because you would let it go because you're a good person. But like, it's bothered me ever since it happened. You know, if I'm being honest, and that's you know, you too good to people, baby. That's your problem. You know, you out here doing this community service with friendship. No more charity. You know what I mean? She don't deserve it. You know, I told you to cut her off, but you know, you're too gracious. This will require listening every time, so that's also part of it. You have to remember things to be able to bring things up again, so that is a bigger part of it. You're gonna have to listen everything. You have to start to know and remember the characters. Oh, because it's rough, because then you have people in your life that you look at that might be going through some of this stuff, and you want them to listen to you. You want them to see the value that they have by listening to you. You're being honest with them. This is a young person in front of you that's impressionable and everything, but you see so much good, so much potential, and so much genuine, like, beauty from the character that this person has in front of you, but it's hard for them to listen to you, you know? It's as hard for them to listen to you as it was for me to listen to the nice man who took me fishing. It's like, they know you're older than them, and they know that you probably know more about life, but you don't know as much about this moment as they do. So then it's hard to listen to you. It becomes even tougher because you watch how affected they are. Like, this thing, obviously you could just turn things off and walk away, but like, the internet's a part of our lives. It doesn't just go away every day the way it used to, you know? And so you have to, as best as possible, maintain a certain understanding in these young people of what the people that are telling them something or selling them something are actually doing. You know, like how much does this thing change your life? You know, because some of these things are permanent. Like, once again, they have these little things in there that no one could really argue against. You know, like some of it's like that. They call it like softmaxing, which is just doing the healthy stuff, like just a little bit of exercise here and there, or like eating well and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But that's also like wrapped up in the world. So it makes it even harder to escape. And I don't know a real way forward with some of that. Like it's up to every individual and the relationships that they have to make sure that you do as best as you can. You instill this sort of like confidence in young people, and that you don't ever assume that they feel good about something that you haven't talked about. You can only rate people nonstop. You can only assess everyone else nonstop when you are deeply insecure yourself. And you only have time to like obsess over who makes sense with who when you're like deeply insecure about yourself. It was at my most insecure that I was a real hater. No, I was a mega hater. I'd see two people holding hands and just want to kick the hands apart. No. When I was like, what? I had to be like 22, and I was single, and I don't know, wasn't feeling good about myself sometimes. And I just see a couple holding hands, taking up the whole sidewalk. Either be two people or be one person, because like, why are you walking down the sidewalk taking up as much as over here doing this? I can't pass. I just wanted to. Oh. And then look, you meet someone. And then when you meet someone, all of a sudden, everything's not so bad. And so it seems like that entire time, maybe no one had a problem but me. And it takes all the stuff that it's always taken to get around and over some of that. You know, the people that love you for a reason. And the worth that you have isn't like something you have to build to. It's intrinsic. You know? And then, you know, yeah, if there's something that you don't like about yourself, it's not an indictment on your personality. Whether you change it or not, you're still you. It's actually why you find people who are deeply, deeply into this stuff are still so unhappy. By the logic of the thing, they should be the happiest. They could cut a stone with their chin. Do you know what I mean? Because and that's the thing. It's like you're chasing beauty, but beauty is relative. So there is no top. There is no like 10 out of 10. Not really, and not for everybody. Meanwhile, you have two good-looking women fighting over an ugly man. It's like that's crazy. Look. I'm only piling on him because his character is so bad that I feel like it's fair enough, but he was built like Lego. Like okay, y'all playing with Legos. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Even when I was like, he's ugly, he was like, hey. No, it shouldn't be this difficult, you know? It shouldn't. Like, the technology getting better was supposed to be better for us. Remember when we thought we would, like, float by now? You remember, you see those, like, movies in black and white where they're like old docs and they ask people what they think the world's going to be like in 2026. And even when they answer, it's crazy. It's crazy what their answers were going to be, you know, because they didn't even talk like us. Like, I think we'll have flying cars. It's like... No, man, this guy was so wrong. No, you hear all these like in things we would have invented and things that we would do instead. You know, there was a whole movement way back in the day. It's kind of like a little bit of what the Jetsons was based off of, because there was this idea that like technology would be so advanced that we wouldn't even really work the way we work now. We wouldn't work to be able to live. We would work at jobs that forwarded humanity, but then a lot of the other work would go to robots, would go to like intelligent things, everything. And it's like we are headed there in the worst way. Like we are headed there if like we're headed there in the way that like George Jetson is just sitting on his like futuristic couch like, how is gas $7? Like that's like that. No, we're close. We got some of the AI, but you know, robots are on the way. Because I think about how my grandparents, and even like if you have enough of like a strong family history to know the stories, or even your great grandparents, you know, how we have such a romantic view of their love, because their love felt more immediate and it felt stronger, and it, in a way, it felt just as scarce, right? Like there'd be something that was like a sticking point in their story, whether it was World War II or it was like something going on at home. And we don't really think of them as constantly trying to one up each other and constantly trying to like date up, or what does this person have, or you know, you hear your grandma tell a story about your granddad. It's like, oh, we met at a dance hall and he was dashing. Like, oh, that's so sweet. Yes, and he walked right up to me and he asked if he could buy me some honey wine. And you're like, oh, that's adorable. Yes, and then we drank and we woke up in the neighbor's barn. I'm like, oh! That happened to my buddy. He asked his grandma how he asked his grandma how she met the granddad. And then she just hit him with the plot twist, and he was like, wait. Because she just kept talking. He was like, I'm not trying to hear the rest of the story. And so there are plenty of ways where we're very, very blessed with what we have now. You know, like there's only life that we can live, so we might as well appreciate it for what it is. And I'm very thankful that I am alive now, that I grew up when I did, that I hopefully grow old to see an even better world and everything. But I'd be lying if I said that sometimes I wasn't just a bit envious of how my granddad didn't really, if he didn't want to, he didn't really have to think about his appearance until he came across like a lake or something. Yeah, I mean, it was either mirrors or water. That's the only time you saw your face. You can walk around all day with something on your face. Just because it's very easy to be self-conscious about how you look, because at any given point throughout life, some of us look dumb. It's gonna happen to everybody. You're gonna pronounce the wrong word very loud. You're gonna say fish when you mean worm. You know what I mean? Like, we're all gonna do it. Oh, I was in Chicago years ago. This is where I came up, where I started and everything in Chicago. And I tell people all the time to visit Chicago. I know it has a reputation for being very cold, but when you are talking about Chicago fall or spring, there are very few places in the world as beautiful as Chicago in those seasons. It's gorgeous. It feels like they have the golden hour for like half the day. It's amazing. And I loved living there when I was there. And I knew it was a good place to live too, because I enjoyed it and I was broke. Whenever you ask people, like, if a place is nice, you never ask someone with money. For people with money, everywhere is nice. They're having money there. This is crazy. You ask somebody about different places, different cities, and they're like, "Oh, it's wonderful." It's like, yeah, but you can go to the best restaurant anywhere. If you want to know if a place is nice, ask a broke person. Ask a person who, like, has to enjoy the outdoors. Nah, I was broke when I lived in Chicago. And so I loved it though. And there was one time I had a day off. And so I just went out, ran some errands and everything, was having a great time. This was like a phenomenal day. Saw some friends. I came home and then realized that basically the entire day I had my pocket out. Some of you don't seem to understand what a big deal this is. I had my phone in my pocket. My phone took up almost all my pocket, so I went in my pocket and pulled out my phone. My pocket went inside out, and then I put my pocket back in my jacket, so I never touched my pocket again, so then my pocket was just out the rest of the day. My pocket was out. Okay. Clearly, y'all don't see what the big deal is. Okay, so, no, this is fine. This is what examples are for, okay? What do you think of me now? What do you think of me right now? What do you think of me now? Okay. What do you think of me now? No. Let's check. What do you think of me now? What do you think of me now? Do I look broke? Do I look 7? It is devastating to be out in public with your pocket. I got home and caught myself with my pocket out and realized I didn't have as many friends as I thought I had, because I was out with friends with my pocket out, just, hanging out, talking, like, oh, it's good to see y'all. This is horrible. I went shopping with my pocket out. I'll tell you this, when you go shopping with your pocket out, doesn't look like you're gonna be making purchases. I was so retroactively embarrassed. I talked to a clerk. I was over here asking prices. I was like, oh, how much? Oh, $29.99, that's reasonable. No, I'm not gonna get it today, but I'll be back. I'll be back. This is insane. I went dancing. I danced with people with my pocket out. Oh, if you ever want to clear a dance floor of women, just mosey on over with your pocket out. I was standing on the dance floor like, wow, everybody must need a drink. Oh, man. Charlotte, y'all been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.